Okay, let's run payroll. We're ready. There's two ways to get into the payroll. Of course, your quick link, you can click the Run Payroll button, or on the left-hand side navigation menu, you have the Payroll Home button. Either one will take you to this page. When you're on this page, you can get rid of the menu on the left, and then always choose option number one, Start Payroll. This screen is going to verify your dates, okay? Pay period ending 4/19 to 4/25, and your check date is going to be May 1st, 5/1. If you need to adjust the dates or a different pay period, or if you need an unscheduled payroll run like a commission run or a bonus run, then please contact Priority 1, your payroll specialist, and we'll be able to assist you from there. If everything looks good, you're all set. You can click the Start Payroll button. This next screen is optional depending on which version you are, but if you do get into this screen, you just simply need to use the little pencil button to go ahead and edit your payroll grid. Okay. In the payroll grid, let's go over some of the columns here. Here's your employee information. They're going to get paid if there's a green check mark. The system is automatically going to default everyone in the payroll to get a check. So if there's someone not getting a check this week, then you need to go ahead and uncheck the boxes so they don't get paid this week. Okay, so we'll just randomly take out a few people. All right. And so then we have your pay, your options, your pay, your division or department that they're in, shows the rate of pay. And then you have your regular hours column, overtime, and then your salary amount or a flat dollar amount in this column here. Okay, if they have personal hours or vacation or sick hours or any other different pay codes, they would be up here, and they will always default to this pay rate. Okay. This client is set up with a bonus amount, cash tips and charge tips because they're a restaurant and they're 1099. And then the direct deposit indicator is on the right-hand side. Also across the top, you can check or uncheck everyone at the same time. You can add a payee if they're missing in the payroll grid or you don't see them. You can add the employee through here and select them. You can sort this any way you'd like, different options, or you can filter and show just certain people. Choose column. It's a pretty neat button to make this grid smaller if you need. So I know we're not going to pay any 1099, so I'm just going to click and drag that into the choose column. And we're going to use the charge tips, cash tips, and we're not going to use these unqualified items. So we'll get rid of that and we'll make our grid much smaller. Okay. You can rearrange the columns at any time if you want. You can just click and drag, move personal over, etc. These columns, you can make them smaller or you can make them wider. Okay. You also have an options button for every single employee. And the options button is going to, again, you have an option to add the payee if they're missing from the grid. You can duplicate the row. So if you have multiple entries for the employee, you can duplicate the row. If you need to change their department or division, so if the employee worked in like the front of the house and the back of the house, you can allocate their hours. Change rate, this is only temporary, this is one-time changes. Turn on direct deposit or turn off direct deposit, or you can just delete the entire row. Okay. Now, we're all set to start payroll. So we're going to pay the kitchen cook, and he's got her 40 hours. And he's got the 4 overtime hours. So just make sure you're in the regular hours column, the overtime. You can use your mouse to go to any particular column you'd like. You scroll up, down. You can use your tab key to go back and forth, or again, you can use the arrow key. So it's very flexible. However, which way you'd like to use the system, whatever feels comfortable for you, no problems. Okay. Next employee is going to be Robert Smith, and he's a tipped employee in front of the house. So we're going to give Robert 25 hours, and he has cash tips. So I'm just going to use the mouse to scroll over. He's got 250 in cash tips, and then the credit card tips, he had 350. So a pretty good week for Robert Smith. Okay. Bob Francisco. Bob, he's in our catering division, and we're going to be closed next week. So he did work 40 hours this week. So I'm going to be a nice employer, and I'm actually going to pay him a second check for vacation for next week. So what I want to do is I want to highlight the Bob row, come over here, and click duplicate the row. When I duplicate the row, you'll see Bob now has 2 lines, and it's check 1 and check 1. So both of these will be on check 1. So the first check, I want to do 40 hours of regular, and then I promised him a second check, 40 hours under the personal vacation, 40 hours. And because I wanted on the second check, I just changed that number 1 to a number 2. Okay, so there you have 2 checks. We're not paying John, Marie, Jim Bob. He was a new employee, so let's pay him 4 hours. There's another employee named Brianna. I got to check and see what's going on with Denise. So I'm not ready to complete the payroll. So what I want to do is I want to save my changes before I exit the screen. Okay, at this time, do not process the payroll because otherwise you'll lose the payroll grid. Okay? So now you can go back to your dashboard and get out of the payroll entry mode, and you can get the information you need, and you can come back to run payroll. Okay, again, so you just go back into your payroll grid, you can click run payroll, and now you've already started it, so now you want to edit it. So there's your payroll grid again. We do have to pay Denise. She's on the salary, but she only worked, the 40 hours, so that's fine. You're not paying Taylor, and we're not going to pay Robert this time either. So at this point, we're all set to process the payroll. Regular hours looks good. Everything's in regular hours. Overtime column, people that are in salary are getting salary. Bob's personal check, scroll over, and that was check 2. 3. So payroll entry looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and save the changes I just made again. Hey, now I'm ready to submit or process the payroll. So I'm going to go ahead and let it calculate. I'm going to go ahead and click process. Taking a few seconds, it won't be too long. Yeah, there it is. And at this point, you have 2 different options. The first option is payroll details. Payroll details, it brings up the individual employee, but it shows the entire paycheck at the same time. So you can edit individual paychecks versus on the grid. And it'll also show you the gross through the net. And you also have access to deductions like health insurance and things like that to make changes one time. Okay. Well, we're not going to do any payroll changes right now. This payroll details is actually going to be covered under a different video called Back to Edit Payroll, which is also on the next screen. So here we're going to go right into our payroll totals. And on the payroll total screen, this is where we're going to cross-fit our entries. So, the totals from the Excel sheet or your time clock, you can compare your number of hours and to make sure it's accurate. And then down here, this is your actual payroll expenses right here. So your total bank deposit, your cash required, is going to be the $4,774.74. Okay? If you have any concerns whatsoever, you may click the payroll register here in the middle of the screen, and it's going to bring up the payroll register, and it's going to show all your payroll entries. And if you notice at the bottom, it says pre-process. So it hasn't been submitted to it yet, but this is what your paperwork is going to look like when you submit it. So if everything looks good, your totals match up, you have the 2 options. You process your payroll, click submit, or if you need me to check on employee number 4 to make sure I paid correct. And then the key to this screen is submit payroll. A lot of people, they forget to submit the payroll, and then we have to track you down. Okay, submit the payroll. You always want to make sure you get this screen here with the fireworks or confetti. Congratulations, you have successfully submitted payroll. If you do not get this screen or if it locks up on you, go back to your dashboard and make sure that this payroll screen says start payroll. Okay, if you have it in edit or complete payroll, that means the payroll is still outstanding and you have not submitted it. So this will wrap up the entering payroll. In the next video will be how to edit the payroll. Thanks for listening.